Hello, I'm Serious Stew. Can you believe it? I'm back with a brand new Let's Play of a totally awesome remake of a totally awesome game. Well, a totally awesome series of games. It's Streets of Rage Remake. And very aptly named, as you'll see. Look at all these characters! You don't remember all these characters, do you? And even better, the people that made this game, it lets you choose which version of the character that you want to play as from whatever game that you were featured in. So you've got Axel here, this is a Streets of Rage 3 version, this is a Streets of Rage 1 version, and a Streets of Rage 2 version. Same with Blaze. Even Shiver, you can play as him in his Streets of Rage 3 version there, or Streets of Rage 2 version, even though you couldn't even play as him in Streets of Rage 2. And they've even included a brand new character here. It's nuts. This game is mental. And basically this Let's Play is... it's a Let's Play, but I just kind of want to show off all the different sort of features in this game. So like, some of you might have preferred Streets of Rage 3 or Streets of Rage 2 or maybe even the first one. If you go into the options, there's all kinds of these crazy options that you can change to make the game to be more fitting for how you remember. For instance, weapon type. In Streets of Rage 2, when you picked up a weapon, you could just use it over and over and over, and it wouldn't break, it wouldn't run out, so long as if you dropped it like 3 times or something, then the weapon disappeared. In Streets of Rage 3, weapons had health. Essentially, every time you whacked an enemy with it, it would deplete, and if it broke, then it broke, and it was gone. And you can change it to how you want it to act. I'm not sure how it works in Streets of Rage 1 there. I think it just affects... I think it'll just affect like you can throw like a knife from afar just by pressing the attack button rather than having to press attack and jump. I think that's about it really. It might also affect how you pick up weapons as well, but I'm not entirely sure. Meter type is I'm not sure why they even put this here. It seems to be them to be able to enable or disable the clock. Like when the clock ran out in the game, then you would lose a life. Or you can have it so you've just got the gauge, which is from Streets of 3, or you can have both. I don't know why they've kind of mixed that options together, but whatever. Combo type. Again, this is really for like Streets of Rage enthusiasts that would remember these like little details. Basically, in Streets of Rage 2, your regular rush sort of combo attack, it would only do the entire combo if you're actually hitting an enemy. In Streets of Rage 3, you could do it just by jabbing the attack button in the same spot, and your character would do the entire combo. I always preferred how it was in Streets of Rage 2. Pretty much all the options I've set to how I wanted it. As like, I didn't like how weapons broke in Streets of Rage 3 because it was fun to have weapons, and to have them break was a bit of a kick in the balls. Jump type, you can change the way. Well, basically, it seems to affect your air control when you jump with any character in the game. Going through an order, in Streets of Rage 1 you can change your direction. Sorry, you can change your like inertia through the air, and you can also change the direction that you face. So I missed my mic. In Streets of Rage 2, I'm not sure if that's better or not. In Streets of Rage 2, you can jump in a direction, but you can't change your inertia. You can't change your direction. It's fixed. In Streets of Rage 3, you can change your inertia, but you can't change your direction. And I think I prefer it in that. Death type, what's this one? Oh, this is what happens when basically you run out of health, I believe. If you put it to SOR, then your character flashes and disappears, and then they drop out of the sky, all the enemies fall over. It's been like that throughout all the series, but they've added another option in that they just called Remake, and basically your character stands up on the spot and like just kind of carries on. It's kind of like more of a modern kind of game design kind of decision. And yes, there's an option here for used guns. Basically, some levels now have guns in them, and I guess you can just choose whether to have them or not. I'll just see them extra weapons, and you don't get them very often, so I just keep on yes. They're quite fun. Video options, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, visual effects. Yeah. So you can keep it on the usual like, the usual visual effects when you hit an enemy. Or you can put on Remake, and Remake is actually really tastefully done. I think I'll put on Remake. You can affect the way the shadows work. I just prefer the usual kind of Streets of Rage shadows, like kind of like black sort of flat things on the ground. I'm not really sure what the other options are. I have tried them, but I remember not really liking them much. Yeah, we'll put blood on. Blood only appears when basically using a knife or a sword, or you're shooting people. Audio options. You can. I'm sure many of you remember that, like in Streets of Rage 3, they completely changed Axel's voice to be all like bare knuckle instead of saying grand upper that he did in Streets of Rage 2, and I think the majority of the people really hated that because it was just such a big difference. And you can change it. You can change it from what they're calling here Streets of Rage 3 or bare knuckle 3. Bare knuckle 3 basically being because in the Japanese version of Streets of Rage 3 they didn't change that from what I understand, and they kept it as it was in Streets of Rage 2. But when they brought it over to Western markets, they changed his voice to be the same bare knuckle. So I mean, it's kind of a confusing option. If you set it to bare knuckle 3, Axel's voice, and there'll be other voices changes as well, I assume. His voice will be as it was in Streets of Rage 2. If you put it to Streets of Rage 3, it will be as Axel's voice will be as his voice was in Streets of Rage 3, as we remember. Basically, if you want him to say grand upper instead of bare knuckle, put it to bare knuckle 3. How confusing is that? This is, what is this one? Sound effect type. I think this is to do with when an enemy dies. In Streets of Rage 2, you would hit the enemy, they would fall over, and then you would hear them scream and die. In Streets of Rage 3, you would hit them as soon as they lost all their health. They would get sent flying, and you would hear their death cry at the same time. And that's what that option is. But if you really want, they've got a combined option here where, depending on what game the enemy is from, when you kill them, they will either do the death cry as soon as they lose their health, or they will do the death cry when they actually lose their health and then hit the ground. And I prefer as it was in Streets of Rage 2, which is when they get knocked over and then you hear the death cry. But yeah, like it's mental. All these options are crazy. For basically making the game exactly as you want it, and there's even more here. There is like a manual, not in the game but like a separate file, and a lot of these things getting over there. I think I won't go through anymore. Let's show you the game. It's so good. I'll play with a computer friend just to make it a bit more interesting. Let's ascend to balanced. So these are all the characters. It's like, you could say there's 10 characters, but there's actually more. I'll explain in a second. All the ones at the top is from the games that we did play, and for Axel, Blaze, and Skate, you can change what version of the character that you want to play as from the particular game. Like in this example, it's from Streets of Rage 3. That example is Streets of Rage 1. They've redrawn the sprite to look, as big as all the others, which is crazy. They have, right? I don't remember being that big on the Mega Drive, on the Genesis, sorry. And that's the Streets of Rage 2 one. They changed his portrait. I don't know why they did that, but whatever. Again with Blaze, all 3 versions. Look at that! I love that sprite. It looks great. It's quite interesting to see how much her sprite actually did change. And Adam's been completely. They have, haven't they? They've completely redrawn the sprite, and that's how Adam now looks in this kind of iteration. Everything is basically looking mostly Streets of Rage 2 style, with a bit of Streets of Rage 3 in there as well. Same with Skate, and it does quite drastically change their moveset as well. Not to say that, like, pretty much all versions of Axel they can run now Streets of Rage style. Like, the only character that could run in Streets of Rage 2 was Skate, but now everyone can run, even Max can run. And they also have all their moves updated as well. Like for instance, Streets of Rage 1 Axel, he does have, when you used to press the A button on Streets of Rage 2 and 3, he would do that spinning dragon thing to hit enemies all around him. He has that now, and he also has like a forward A move, and he can still run, and he can still do a jump and down B attack and all that other jazz. It's really, really, really good. And yes, you can play as Mr. X now. All these characters here, these are all unlockable. I would show you the shop, but for some reason it's locked right now. Basically, I went to the shop and there's this portrait on the right where Blaze is, and I once went to the shop and like her graphic was like asleep, and I had the choice of that I could steal something from the shop. Basically, the shop is full of characters to unlock and other game modes, silly little cheats, things like making enemies explode when you kill them, stuff like that. It's really good. And I tried to steal something and I stole it, but then she like shouted, "Oh, thief!" And then now I can't get back to the shop. It says right there, "You are barred from the shop," and I don't know what to do to get back into the shop. So I can't show you what the shop is like, it's really cool. Which is annoying because there are some features in the shop like character profiles. You can only access them by going to the shop. But I'm pressing the button and I can't even go into the shop, which is a bit lame. But oh well. Anyway. So I'm not sure, who do I play as? I mean, I still enjoy playing as Axel. Max is good fun, and most of these characters are good. I don't like Ash. I mean, some of you might not remember Ash. Anyone that's only played the Western release and didn't really read up on Streets of Rage very much will not recognise who this character is. Basically, in the Japanese version of Streets of Rage 3, you remember on the first level where there's the boats that you're running along the dock? There's like a bad guy driving a boat, and it was inside the boat was Shiver. Well, in the Japanese version, it was this guy, and when you get to the end of that dock section, he jumps out and you have a fight. And there was a cheat code to be able to play as him, and now they've added him into this game. And I'm pretty certain you can look up videos on YouTube, you'll find it, no problem. But I think in this game they've added new moves to him, and he can pick up weapons or that sort of thing. And from what I understand, in the original console version he couldn't pick up weapons, he couldn't handle weapons. Same with Rue's from Streets of Rage 3. He couldn't handle weapons, but in this version he can. And I think it's mental that they've done this. It doesn't break the game or anything. I just think it's really good that they've really tastefully updated all these things. I don't know. I don't recognise that sprite. I think they just completely drew her, brand new. And I think she's meant to be basically based off the first chick that you fight in Streets of Rage 2 when you get into that bar. Most people must remember Shiver. He was an awesome boss, and he's a pretty cool character design. He's got a really slick animation, and you can play as, it's his third iteration or second iteration, and he plays mostly identical. He's still really powerful, but his moveset's been updated as well. He can pick up weapons as well. Rudra seems to be a completely unique character, but I don't actually like her very much. Sorry guys, but good work on the sprite. And yeah, he can play as Mr. X, and his animation is really nice. And yeah, you can fire the gun whenever you want, and yeah, he's generally powerful. He's a good laugh. I'm not sure who to show you. I mean, I could do more videos and I could show you pretty much all the characters. For now, I could show you Axel. Something to bear in mind though is that the damage output of the characters is pretty much identical, apart from the new characters. It's pretty much identical to what they were like in their corresponding game. Like in Streets of Rage 3, the general damage output by most of the characters was pretty turned down. Like Axel was now really weak. His forward and air move was pretty pathetic, it was almost pointless. The only thing that was good about it is that you were invincible for it. So playing the Streets of Rage 3 Axel is, it's rubbish. The Streets of Rage 1 version is really good. I'll probably end up playing it sim actually, and Axel now from Streets of Rage 2, especially combined with his run, and oh, you also still have like the move upgrade system from Streets of Rage 3 where you get like the little stars on your health bar. You can still get those for all the characters actually, and it will update the forward B move. But it's so cool that it looks pretty much exactly as it did from the Mega Drive, but really tastefully updated. We'll play Streets of Rage 1 Axel, and for the computer, let's put on Adam. Yeah, because he's been really well done. Cutscene time.
This is a situation. We have a patrol car, a helicopter, and several rocket launchers.
See, cutscenes and everything.
Ammo is limited, so use it wisely. You'll only have support in accessible places. Let's get my breath there.
Understood.
With British help, I've drawn a map of our main targets.
We know that Mr. X is behind this, but we can't touch him. He has bribed city officials, the police, and cleared his reputation thanks to public acts of generosity, like the new baseball stadium.
The stadium, eh? Let's kick his ass, once and for all. Fight on, bro. Now we're talking. Ha ha.
And then look at this. You get like a choice of where you want to start.